Hello and welcome to the 3-day edition of the weather forecast from the Nigerian Meteorological Agency. We presently have a very deep moisture layer within our atmosphere, giving good rainfall distribution over the north, the central states, and the southern cities, including the southwest, an area where traditionally should be experiencing what we call the mid-summer drought, popularly known as the little dry season in this part of the world. Is that actually the picture on the ground, one would tend to ask? We had reports of ample rains causing flash flooding from parts of Osun State between 21st and 23rd of July and their environs. After that, from 24th of July to 1st of August. These are the cumulative rainfall reports we had from parts of the southwest. 47.9 millimeters of rainfall from Abeokuta, 75.6 from Akure in Ondo State, 51.1 millimeters of rainfall from Ijebu-Ode in Ogun State, and 42.2 millimeters of rainfall from Ishayi in Oyo State. A look at this rainfall distribution shows that we had both moderate rains and very low rains over the southwest, a true reflection of the mild little dry season as projected from the beginning of the year in our seasonal climate prediction. Tuesday morning was projected to have early morning rains to the western flank of the country, and this satellite imagery as at 5:30 a.m. shows rainfall systems over the northwest, the western parts of the central states and the southwest, a reflection of the fact that those areas did have some rainfall events Tuesday morning. Presently, as at 12 noon, this is the satellite imagery showing remnants of rain-bearing clouds over the southwest, keeping that place dull, very cloudy with one or two rains here and there. On this side, we have fresh rain bearing systems just over southern Chad and parts of northern Cameroon. We expect this with the right conditions to build and propagate, aiding prospects of rainfall over the country. As for the rest of Tuesday, we have prospects of thunderstorms to affect the northeastern part of the country, parts of the central states, and the southeastern part of the country. The prospects of rains are also still there for parts of the northwest and parts of the southwest, even though those prospects are lower than other areas because of reduced energy as a result of the rains we had in the morning hours. By the end of Tuesday, a high impact forecast project that we're going to have moderate to heavy rainfall over parts of the northeast into the central states and parts of the central states just close to the southwest to parts of Ekiti and Osun and its environs. Prospects of moderate to heavy rains also there at the end of Tuesday over the Niger Delta area, with prospects of flash flooding in these areas, not also leaving out parts of Sokoto and Kebbi State. How will temperatures look like for Tuesday? Maximum temperatures are expected to be low, within the lower 30s for the southern states, lower 30s for the central states, lower to mid 30s for parts of the north, except the north is where we expect parts of Podiskum to hit 38 degrees Celsius, not separated from the dry spell event that we've been experiencing within that region, even though that dry spell is whittling down now. And that dry spell isn't unconnected with the global climate conditions that's also affecting parts of the southwest. Only time will tell how much our global climate challenge would affect our weather in Nigeria at the end of 2023. We may just wait to see. As we get into the second day of our forecast, speaking of Wednesday, the prospects of rains are there over most parts of the country. The moisture depth is still there over parts of the north. We expect pockets of thunderstorms. Parts of the central states, we expect pockets of thunderstorms, and parts of the south, we expect rains mostly to the south, parts of the southwest, and thunderstorms to parts of the south is a high impact forecast projects that for this day, we expect bulk of the rains to affect the northeastern part of the country, where we have prospects of moderate to heavy rains to affect Borno, parts of Adamawa into parts of Taraba, with some prospects of flash flooding over this region. We also have prospects of moderate to heavy rains over parts of Cross River to Akwa Ibom, with also tendency of flash flooding here and there. To other parts, we expect the rains not to be as much on this day and not to have as much impact on this day as compared to what we expect for Tuesday. And so this day should give us some little respite, so to speak. And for temperatures on this day will also be on the low side. Some areas to the parts of the coast expected to have maximum temperatures in the upper 20s, 29, 28, 30. We expect temperatures between lower 30s for the central states, and for the northern part of the country, temperatures should drop slightly over parts of the northeast where we anticipated high temperatures for the first day. Temperatures drop slightly over this region. As we get to the third and final day of this 3-day forecast, speaking of Thursday, we expect rains to also affect thunderstorms to affect the northeast. We expect the rains on this day to be more than what we had or what we expect for the second day, which is Wednesday. So we expect thunderstorms, moderate to heavy, over parts of the northeastern flank of the country, which should be where the eye of the anticipated storm should be for this day. Storm should affect parts of the southeast. As we get to the central state, we should see a fair share of some moderate to heavy rains to this region and parts of the northwest, not leaving out parts of the southwest seem to be having more rains within the past few days. It almost seems as if we're having what we normally call these continuous rains that last between 5 to 7 days. Time will tell how this plays out. And from our high impact forecast, as we can see, the areas over the northeast and parts of the central state is where, like I said, we expect the bulk of the rains, and this area should have the most impact as moderate to heavy rains are anticipated over this region, coupled with cases of flash flooding. Not leaving out parts of the central state, speaking about the border between Kaduna and Niger State, parts of the south turning towards the southwest should also have prospects of moderate to heavy, and parts of Sokoto and Kebbi State should have prospects of low to moderate rainfall. And for temperatures on this day, we expect temperatures to still be on the low side with the anticipated heavy rains that we expect for this day. So mostly low upper 20s to the south, lower 30s to parts of the inland areas of the south, the central states, and for the north we expect low to middle 30s for maximum temperatures. Minimum temperatures are also expected to be on the low side for the 3-day of our forecast period. And that's it from here. Thank you for watching. I remain Onyilo Desmond.